Through every note, every performance, the arts connect us. The arts connect us through joy and through awe, bridging cultures and generations. From intimate theaters to the grandest stages, the arts bring us together, reminding us that we're never truly alone. When we experience the arts, we experience each other. Kentucky Performing Arts. The arts connect us.
Where we belong. Right. Get rowdy. Yeah. Did you go over there and get the phone? Yep. All right. Let her plug this in and we'll start. And look, it's only 4 after. I love that shit. That's awesome. We're live now. Oh, sorry. I still love that shit. Yeah. What? Yeah. All right. Hold the mic for me. Oh. I'm going to go as far as you might have to. Don't go as far as you can go. It's tangled. There's a knot. That ain't gonna make it. All right, well, should we scooch down a little bit? Okay. Is it going to totally screw you off? We have to move down a little bit?
We're gonna move. We can move. Hold on. I was gonna say, hand me your laptop.
What's wrong?
I'm gonna do what my granddaddy taught me to do. And stand up for family. And fight back. But if you been disrespected for too long.
They don't expect that. We're not gonna have our kids marching. This is it.
Once and for all!
Justice for Patrick!
Justice for Patrick!
Justice for Patrick!
As a black man, I stand up for black women.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name!
Kanye Jordan!
400 years later, not a damn thing changed!
I stand up for black women because it's what I'm supposed to do.
It's all one fight. The same people that suppress the vote, they'll suppress your living rate.
It's standing up for freedom, a freedom that knows action, a love that is in action.
My name is Jennifer Twyman, and I am the drug policy organizer with Vocal Kentucky. We are a member-led grassroots organization that builds power with directly impacted folks to change policies and laws. I am also somebody directly impacted by the overdose crisis. I spent more than 20 years struggling with chaotic opiate use. I've practiced harm reduction in my life for over 16 years and have lost too many friends and community members to failed policies. Today, we're here because Louisville is receiving approximately $57 million, and yes, I said $57 million of opioid settlement money over the life of these settlements. This money exists simply because pharmaceutical companies helped fuel an epidemic that devastated our communities. It is blood money. Money paid because people in Louisville and across Kentucky suffered, and because many never got the chance to recover. The question before us is simple. Who gets to decide how that money is spent? Right now, Louisville does not have a clear, transparent public process for allocating opioid settlement funds. The advisory board that previously existed has expired, and there is no clear path forward for community organizations to apply for funding, and people most impacted by this crisis have no voice in the decisions that are made that directly impact their lives. Meanwhile, we continue to see people struggling with homelessness, substance use, mental health challenges, HIV, Hep C, and barriers to treatment. We continue to lose people we love. We continue to see investments in systems of punishment instead of services which keep people alive. We know what works because we've lived it. Housing works, harm reduction works, syringe service programs work, methadone and buprenorphine work, peer support work, prevention works, all kinds of things work. These are the services that keep people alive long enough to heal. That is why we are asking Louisville Metro government to establish a transparent public process for opioid settlement funding, one that includes public meetings, public reporting, open applications, and meaningful leadership with people with lived experience. Every dollar is a decision between care or punishment, between housing or homelessness, between investing in what works and repeating mistakes that got us here. The people who have carried the weight of this crisis deserve more than a seat in the audience. We deserve a seat at the table. To talk more about importance of transparency, public participation, and ensuring these funds are used to create lasting change in Louisville, I am honored to introduce our first speaker and longtime champion for justice and community empowerment, former State Representative Attica Scott, and now Director of Special Projects for Forward Justice Action Network. Our pain, our money, our voice. Our pain, our money, our voice. Our pain, our money.
Thank you, Jennifer, so much for the introduction and the opportunity to speak today. My name is Attica Scott, and I'm here today as the Director of Special Projects at Forward Justice Action Network. I'm here because people are dying in a system that values cages over care. We don't need another statistic. We need policy change. Our neighbors, our parents, people who deserve care are being failed by institutions and systems right here. Kentucky is sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars from opioid settlement funds. Louisville is sitting on nearly 60 million. This is money that was won because pharmaceutical companies flooded our communities with pills, created an addiction crisis. They created it. That's right. And then profited while our people suffered. Right. That money exists because of our suffering. It belongs to our healing. And yet, right now, there are forces in this city and in this state, quite frankly, that want to take those funds and pour them into more policing, more jail beds, more punishment. They want to criminalize the very people this money was meant to help.
That ain't right.
That ain't right. That ain't right. We are here to say today, no, not on our watch. No, not on our watch.
No.
The jail is not a detox center.
No.
It is not a treatment facility.
No.
Handcuffs do not stop an overdose.
No.
Politicians have tried punishment for decades by locking people up, shaming people, and writing people off. And we have decades of bodies to show for it. We know what works. Jennifer's already told you what works. But besides what Jennifer has shared, low barrier care that meets people where they are, not where they wish they were, works. Housing and wraparound services work. As Jennifer said, peer support from people who lived this and know the way through works. These are not radical ideas. Anytime anybody says that, you push back on it and say, hell no. No. It's a practical idea. It's a realistic idea. These are evidence-based, life-saving interventions. And they are being starved of funding while law enforcement's budget grows. And grows. That ain't right. That ain't right. We are demanding a transparent public process with the allocation of these funds because these decisions cannot happen in back rooms without the voices of the people who are most affected, the people standing right here today. Nothing about us without us is not a slogan. It is a mandate. Nothing about us without us. To every elected official in both of these buildings, we are watching. You will see our folks showing up at every meeting, speaking at every public comment opportunity. We will continue to organize and we will continue to hold you accountable. Fund treatment, fund harm reduction, fund housing, fund peer-led programs built by and for the people in this community who know what survival looks like. This is blood money.
Blood money.
It was paid through suffering of families across Kentucky and Louisville like mine. It should be spent on Kentucky and Louisville families like mine. Thank you. I didn't know you were next.
Deep breath. Hi, my name is Pam Lutka, and I'm a leader at Vocal Kentucky. I'm here today because our community has an opportunity and a responsibility to use opiate settlement money in a way that truly saves lives. This issue is deeply personal to me. My older sister developed endocarditis because of her substance use and died alone. 7 months later, I lost my best friend to an overdose. Over the years, I've lost too many friends to addiction and drug-related deaths. For me, this crisis is not a statistic or a headline. It's my family, my friends, and people I love. That's why I care so deeply about how Jefferson County spends its opiate settlement funds. Jefferson County is expected to receive approximately $57 million in opiate settlement funding over the next 18 years. That was around 3 years ago. That money came from the pain, loss, and devastation caused by the opioid crisis. It's literal blood money. Families were torn apart, thousands of people were lost, and entire neighborhoods have been impacted. We have a chance to invest these funds in programs that make a real difference. That means supporting treatment centers and recovery programs, especially for people who cannot afford to pay for treatment on their own. It means funding medication assisted treatment programs that help people stay alive and build stable recovery. It also means investing in support of permanent housing, transitional housing, and recovery housing. The Arthur Street Hotel is a critical resource for people working to rebuild their lives, and it needs more than $1 million to remain open and operate effectively. We should be supporting programs like this, not waiting until they are at risk of closing. We must also fund harm reduction services, including naloxone, fentanyl test strips, xylazine test strips, and other life-saving supplies. Harm reduction keeps people alive long enough to have a chance at recovery. Every dollar of this settlement should be spent with one goal in mind: preventing more families from experiencing the loss that so many of us in this area have experienced. I buried my sister. I buried my best friend. I buried too many friends. I don't want another family to get that phone call, and I don't want another person to die alone. This settlement money should not disappear into bureaucracy or projects that fail to address the real needs of our communities. It should be invested in housing, treatment, harm reduction, and long-term support for people directly impacted by substance use disorder. We have a chance to honor the lives that we've lost by investing in solutions that save lives today. We have a chance to strengthen families, support recovery, and build a healthier community for everyone. Let's make sure these funds are spent where they will have the greatest impact on the people and programs that are keeping our community alive. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. And thank you, former state representative Attica Scott. Today, I join community members, advocates, and organizations calling for opioid settlement funds to be invested in what we know saves lives: housing, treatment, harm reduction, prevention, peer support, and community-based care. Everything that you all have heard here so far. So I'm not saying something new. As the executive director of Kentucky Harm Reduction Coalition, I have spent years working alongside individuals, families, and communities impacted by overdose, substance use, housing instability, violence, and systemic disinvestment. What I have learned is simple. People do not become healthier because we punish them. Communities do not become safer because we abandon them. Public safety is created when people have access to stable housing, health care, support, connection, and opportunity. Every budget is a moral document. It reflects our values and it reveals who we believe is worth investing in. For far too long, our communities have watched governments find resources for punishment while claiming there is never enough for prevention. We are told there is not enough money for housing, outreach, treatment, youth development, peer support, or mental health services, yet somehow there is always money available once a crisis occurs. We keep funding the response to harm while starving the conditions that prevent it. That is not public safety. That is policy failure. You cannot arrest your way out of trauma.
You cannot jail your way out of grief. You cannot punish your way out of poverty, and you cannot criminalize people into wellness. Housing is violence prevention. Housing is overdose prevention. Housing is public safety. Treatment is public safety. Harm reduction is public safety. Community care is public safety. The people gathered here today are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for evidence based solutions. We are asking for transparency, as you've heard, in how these dollars are allocated. We are asking decision makers to invest in the interventions proven to reduce harm, improve health outcomes, and strengthen communities. I believe in accountability. Accountability matters. However, accountability without opportunity is abandonment. Accountability without support is neglect. Accountability without investment is simply punishment disguised as policy. The opioid settlement funds were intended to address the devastating harms caused by the overdose crisis and decades of disinvestment, as you heard. These dollars should be directed toward healing communities, supporting recovery, expanding treatment options, increasing housing opportunities, strengthening harm reduction services, and creating pathways for people to survive and thrive. Today, I am not speaking from theory. Today, I am speaking from a place where early this morning policy met my own family, where failed policies, failed prevention, and chronic disinvestment met my family, and that is hard to ignore. The consequences of our decisions do not live on spreadsheets. They live in families. They live in neighborhoods. They live in lives of young people whose futures are shaped by the choices we make and the investments we refuse to make. If we continue to choose punishment over prevention, we will continue producing the very outcomes we claim to be fighting against. The question is not whether we can afford to invest in care, folks. The question is how many more lives we are willing to lose because we didn't. What did you say, former state representative Attica Scott? Nothing without us. Nothing about us without us. Nothing about us without us.
Hello, my name is Chris Thompson. I'm a team leader for Vocal Kentucky. I don't, huh? I'm coming here. I'm not gonna read no paper. I'm just saying, for a few minutes, I'm gonna talk to you. 57 million is a lot of money, but if you're gonna spend it on someone or something like a building, a bar, because you have a lot of homeless people who's on drugs, mental, and it's a shame for letting it waste. We can sit and talk about it, but doing something is totally different. So whatever transparent need to be done by the government or whatever, we need to get these people help. We need to get these people off the streets. They coming in by the packs, and we need to get them off the streets. Families, you got all the hotel who need funding. You got other organizations that need to be funded. We need to help one another. Let's be a brother. Let's be a sister. You don't have to give no money. Pick them up. Show them the way. That's the only way we can. That's the only way we can do it. That money, hey, it's a lot of money. How they spend it is too much for the police. It's too much for everybody. Let's spend it on open epidemic. Let's spend on spice. Whatever need to be done to help these people. Let's do it. It don't take a rocket scientist to see this. You see it all the way downtown. People walk around here with suits and stuff, try to ignore it, but they see it, but they don't want to help. So let's do something about it. Hey, it don't take a rocket scientist to do it. My name is Chris Thompson. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Gill, and I'm the founder of Hip Hop Cares. For more than 10 years, I've spent the time alongside people who are struggling with addiction, homelessness, mental health, and poverty. I've seen people at their literal lowest moments, but I've also seen people recover, reunite with their families, buy homes, start businesses, and rebuild their lives. That's why conversations like this are important. The opioid settlement funds represent a rare opportunity to invest in solutions that actually change lives. But for that to happen, the process must be transparent. And the people most affected must have a voice in how all of these dollars are spent. The demands being discussed today aren't radical or even complicated. They're practical. This shouldn't be trivial. Housing and wraparound services help create stability for people who are trying to rebuild their lives. Harm reduction helps keep them alive long enough to find recovery. Low barrier treatment helps ensure that check. Low barrier treatment helps ensure that when someone reaches out for help, they're able to access it instead of being turned away. Evidence-based prevention and treatment programs help us invest in approaches that have been proven to work. Again, this is not trivial. These are the kind of investments that save lives, strengthen families, and make communities healthier. They do all this talking about safer Louisville, healthier Louisville. Really, prove it. The public deserves to know where the money's going, how the decisions are being made, and what the outcomes are being achieved. What outcomes are being achieved? Transparency isn't just about accountability. It's about making sure that these funds reach the people, the programs that they were intended to help.
That's right.
These dollars belong to the communities that were harmed. These dollars belong to the communities that were harmed. The people living with the consequences of the crisis deserve a voice in how these resources are used.
Come on now.
That's how we build trust. That's how we create better outcomes. That's how we make sure all of this opportunity isn't wasted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sandra Scott, and I'm a leader with Vocal Kentucky. I want to talk about something real, the place that changed everything for me. Arthur Street, when I got to Arthur Street, I wasn't just handed a room, I was handed safety. I was handed stability. I was handed the basic things that people take for granted. A bed, food, a door that locks, a place where I could breathe without having to look over my shoulder. They helped me to get my ID, my social security card, and my birth certificate. Because you can't do anything without ID. No job, no housing, no future. Now I'm in school, getting my high school diploma, my emergency responder certificate to meet people where they're at. Arthur Street gave me the foundation to rebuild my life. But it wasn't just a physical thing. It was the way they treated me. They didn't look at me like a case file. They looked at me like a person who had survived things that most people don't understand. They saw potential in me before I could see it in myself. That changed my mindset even more. Once Arthur Street helped me to get stable, flip the script recovery, helped me take the next step. This is when I chose sobriety. And they taught me I could make it through one day at a time to I deserve a future. That shift only happens because Arthur Street gave me the safety and stability to begin healing. Arthur Street is where my transformation started. Flip the script helped me to build on it. But Arthur Street is the place that gave me my footing, my dignity, and my chance to start over. This is why I'm standing here today, because when you invest in places like Arthur Street, You're not just giving someone a room, you're giving them stability and the safety they need to start believing in themselves. You're funding the first steps in someone's comeback story. And I'm living proof what first steps can do. Thank you.
Hi, it's me again at this podium asking for the same things. I have a message for the mayor of Louisville and Louisville Metro Council. The opioid settlement money belongs to the people who have paid the highest price for this epidemic. It's not a windfall. It's not extra revenue. It is blood money. I know this because I am a widow of the opioid epidemic. A doctor overprescribed and years of addiction began. Years that were not trauma informed. Years without words like medication assisted treatment, syringe exchange, and harm reduction. Had those things been available then, my husband might still be here. Recovery brought a beautiful 5-year reprieve until yet again, a doctor overprescribed. I'm owed this money. That's right. My husband is gone, and like countless other families, I live every day with the consequences of an addiction crisis that devastated our community. Widows of overdoses do not receive a settlement check. We do not receive life insurance benefits. We do not receive compensation for years of grief, loss of income, trauma, heartbreak, fatherless children. Yet we continue to do the work healing our communities. This is why I'm calling on Louisville Metro government to dedicate opioid settlement funds to programs that are proven to save lives. Fund programs that are in trauma-informed. Fund programs that are evidence-based. Fund programs that practice harm reduction. Fund programs that meet people where they are and help them survive long enough to recover. Invest in models like Arthur Street Hotel and other recovery supportive programs that provide stability, dignity, housing, community, and pathways to treatment. Invest in organizations doing the difficult, often invisible work of keeping people alive and helping them rebuild their lives. Today, I'm specifically calling on Louisville Metro government to allocate at least $1 million of opioid settlement funds to the Arthur Street Hotel. This investment would support a program that is serving people affected by substance use disorder, homelessness, trauma, and recovery challenges in our community. If settlement dollars are meant to address the harms caused by the opioid epidemic, then they should be directed towards programs that are already doing the work every day. The purpose of opioid settlement funding is not to fill budget gaps or fund projects unrelated to addiction and recovery. The purpose is to repair harm, prevent overdose deaths, support recovery, and strengthen communities that have suffered for decades. Louisville is owed this investment. The people who have buried their loved ones are owed this investment. The organizations on the front lines are owed this investment. And those still struggling with addiction deserve every evidence-based opportunity to survive and recover. Every dollar spent on proven solutions is a chance to save someone's life. Every dollar diverted away from those solutions is a missed opportunity to honor the people we have lost, and we hold you accountable. As a widow of the opioid epidemic, I know what the crisis has cost. I have lived it. I continue to do this work because I believe lives can and still will be saved. I'm asking Louisville's elected leaders to make decisions guided by evidence, compassion, accountability, and lived experience. Listen to our families. Listen to recovery advocates. Listen to people with lived experience. Allocate $1 million of that opioid settlement funds to the Arthur Street Hotel and invest the remaining settlement scholars in proven trauma-informed, evidence-based harm reduction recovery programs. Use this money for what it's intended to do because lives depend on it.
Freaking awesome. That is our last speaker. The only thing I'm going to say at the close is from what I've heard everybody here say, this is the opportunity for our city to live their words and be a compassionate city. Like, this is the opportunity to repair harm done by the opioid epidemic and really repair some trust and relationship building with our most marginalized and impacted communities. And so that's what we ask City Council to do, really hear our words and make sure that our voices are heard when it comes to these decisions.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Do the right thing, no doubt.
Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Watch Nights.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.
Former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Watch Nights.